Hi, I'm Dr. Erin McLaughlin from Hazeldean Family Chiropractic. Today I'm going to be showing you a series of lower back and core exercises that are really helpful if you're in an episode of lower back pain, leg pain, pelvic pain. You can also simply use these exercises for daily spinal mobility and prevention of lower back pain. The way I'll approach the video today, I'll demonstrate an exercise and you can feel free to hit pause, do your repetitions of that exercise, and then come right back to the video. Or you can watch the whole thing straight through. It's pretty straightforward. You can do this straight through in about 15 or so minutes. And if you want to lengthen that, you can just do 2 full rounds of the workout and do it as a 30-minute program. So we'll get started. So the first thing we want to do is come down onto the floor, just lying flat on our back. I'm going to start with just a simple stretch, so crossing one leg over, resting your foot just at the knee, and I'm going to reach through and pick up my other leg and just pull it inward towards my body. So now I'm feeling a stretch through the back of my leg and into the glutes. So you can hold that for a few seconds and then switch around and do the other side. So depending on how tight your hamstrings and your glutes are, you can determine how long you need to hold the stretch for. Now, once you've stretched a little bit, the next thing that I start with is a simple spinal rotation. So I bring one leg straight and I simply cross the other knee over my body and let my spine gently rotate. This is a nice opening stretch for the lower back. You may feel a release in your lower back. You may feel a little clicking noise. That's completely normal. I come back and then I would do the other side as well. Now, let's get into a little bit more of the strengthening of the core. So the first one will be heel drops. So at one at a time, we're going to raise our legs up so that we're at 90 degrees. Okay? So what we're going to do is very slowly and controlled, keeping our abdomen tight, is lower one heel to the ground and back up. Then the other side, down to the ground and back up. Okay, so you would do 12 on each leg. The important thing here is to make sure that your lower back is flat on the ground and you're keeping your core, your abs, nice and tight. Okay, so slowly and controlled, dropping one heel at a time. So again, you're counting and doing 12 repetitions per side. All right, the next exercise is a simple bridging exercise that's really good for lower back pain and glute strengthening. So same position, just resting your hands on the floor. You're going to push up through your heels and come into this bridge position, keeping your back nice and neutral and just squeezing your glute muscles a little bit. You can hold that for a second and then come back down. And I would recommend doing 12 repetitions of this exercise as well. Try to keep your legs in line so your knees aren't going in or out too far. Okay. Now, after I do those 2 exercises, the heel drops and the bridge, I usually follow it up with another series of the lumbar spine rotation. So 1 to each side. Okay? Now, I'm going to come back up. So my next exercise, we're going to get into a little bit more of some stretching and then some more strengthening, okay? So I'm going to actually come up right onto my knees. Now, this may not seem like it's directly geared to the lower back, but is important for your spinal mobility as a whole, okay? So what I'm going to do from a nice neutral posture is just raise one arm up and gently bend to one side. So this, I'm feeling a nice stretch to the side of my body and into my spine. Come back and then go to the other side. Now it is normal that some people will feel a restriction to one side or the other, but if you're really having trouble going in one direction, just talk to your chiropractor about it, because sometimes those imbalances can be addressed through your adjustments and through the work that we're doing. Okay, so again, what I do here would be 10 to each side, so a total of 20. And I'm not holding it for very long, I'm just, moving smoothly from side to side. All right, so once I've completed 10 in each direction, I follow that up with more of a neck and chest and shoulder stretch, okay? So same thing, a nice, good posture. What I'm gonna do is follow my thumb. I'm gonna reach around and look back behind my thumb, okay? So I start in front of me and I look around and back to that side and come back to the middle. Then we're gonna go to the other side, okay? So this is really going to help with your posture. It helps to stretch the front of the neck, the front of the chest and shoulder, and can really help with your neck mobility, okay? So again, we're doing 10 repetitions to each side. Now you should be really starting to feel like your spine is warming up and you're feeling an improvement in your mobility from side to side, okay? So now we're ready to move into a little bit more of strengthening for our spine and our core. Now this one we're going to come onto our hands and knees. And it's really very, very important here that you have something underneath your knees. If you have trouble at all, you'd want to fold a yoga mat or towel, something underneath your knees to reduce any pressure. But keeping a nice neutral spine, we're going to extend one arm and the opposite leg. Now this, I will say, is a fairly advanced core move. If you're having too much trouble with it, you can raise just one arm up and back down, okay? And then followed by one leg and back down. But if you're able to, go ahead and very slowly and controlled, one arm and the opposite leg, okay? And then the opposite side. So again, for this one, I would do approximately 5 to 6 for each side. So a total of 10 to 12. Now, from this position, we can do a little bit more stretching. So once you've completed those, I simply lean back, reach my fingers out in front of me, and stretch across my upper back and shoulders. Okay, you can hold that for a few seconds. And if your shoulder mobility allows you to do so, you would reach through and underneath, just letting that shoulder really, really stretch. Okay, and then come back, and again, the other side. Okay, now coming back up, what I typically do now is just finish up with a final rotation of my spine, the same one I started with, from one side to the other side. If you wish, you can always add in a couple of push-ups on your knees, a couple of just standing squats, you know, other things that you may be familiar with doing that you know don't increase your pain and you're able to do. That part's really up to you. But the series that I've shown you today is extremely beneficial for lower back pain, core strengthening, and spinal mobility as a whole. So if you have any questions about any of the exercises, you can always ask us. You can send us an email or simply ask us when you're in the office. And feel free to share this video if you found it helpful.